This is the Mickey Miles and More podcast, your one-stop for information on Disney races, Disney vacations, Disney theme parks, and more. Now, here are your hosts for the Mickey Miles and More podcast, Michelle Scribner-McLean, Chris Eliopoulos, and Mike Scopa.
Welcome home, Milers, and welcome back to another episode of Mickey Miles and More, a podcast where three friends talk about the Disney parks, the Disney races, and whatever else comes up. I'm Chris Eliopoulos, and with me, as always, is Dr. Michelle Scribner-McLean. Michelle, how was the Boston Marathon?
It was really fun. It was long and cold. I looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow person. I had 6 layers on, but it was really fun. Where I was at the finish line in the security area, it never stopped. So it was 10 hours of constant everything. Got to see the governor, the cool mayor of Boston, the former mayor of Boston, labor secretary,
future mayor of Boston.
Talked to Secret Service people, the bomb squad. It was like
Crazy.
Really interesting. But the best part was some really cool runner moments. And some funny experiences too, where a lady, I was near the medical tent, so a lady kind of hobbled over and I let her out to see her family, and this guy came up and gave her a big kiss, and then one of the other volunteers said, "Oh, is that your sister?" And he said, "You think I'd kiss my sister like that?" And she
Very
said,
close family.
Yeah, she said I was going to say, "You're a really close family."
Really close.
Anyway, but yeah.
Talk to anybody special?
Yes. So I was there with some Mickey Milers / Team All Ears people, Steve Cantafio, Phil and Beth Cordero, and Kristen McWilliams, and my friend Sandy Began. And we at some point during the day talked to them all about Disney. And Sandy, I was asking them how long it had been since they'd gone, and Sandy made what I thought was an excellent point that I wanted to mention. She said, back in the day when I would plan a trip, I would listen to WDW Today, or I would listen to Mickey Miles, and she said I would get tips, and I would do she didn't say this, but this is my interpretation. She said I would do my homework and do everything I could to make my trip go smoothly, and she would have little tips to, get a reservation or get a fast pass, or, she wasn't afraid of like getting up early and doing that stuff. But she said she doesn't want to go now because she feels like there are no tips to do Disney anymore. And I thought that's a really astute thing to say. And I think I was feeling the same way too, that I thought I'm going to try Genie Plus. I'm going to try Lightning Lane. I'm going to sort of get the lay of the land again. But really, there are no tips to doing any of this that are helpful anymore. So,
well, it's learning a whole new system to the. Yeah,
but there's no, like, we got there early. We paid the money. We did. If the tip was to pay the money, then we'll pay the money. But even that doesn't help. So she said, I don't want to go back because she said, I don't think that you complain on the podcast. She said you tell it like it is, but she said it doesn't sound magical. And but it really struck me that there are a whole group of people who, Disney fans, but didn't mind doing the stuff you needed to do to have a great trip.
Yeah,
doing the work, doing the planning, listening to podcasts or reading about it. But now, what do you do? So anyway,
well, one of those people. On WDW Today was the Dean of Disney, Mr. Mike Scopa. But Mike, do you agree? I'm trying to think, is there going to be tips, or is it just so well planned? Like they have it so locked down, you can't figure out little tips and tricks?
I think it's early in the process, Chris. I think it's going to take some time before a lot of us who are Disney nerds get to figure out how to make the best use of the system the way it is. And the thing is that there are a lot of different moving parts that have come into play over the last year. So I think it's early in the process. I do think that there are going to be things that someone will think of. And when we find those things out and how effective they are, I think that it will be helpful. One of the interesting things, going back to WDW Today and a few other places where we gave tips, is that if everybody starts using the tips, then they don't become tips anymore. And the advantage is not what you would think. But I think it's going to. I think we're going to get better. I think once we learn more and more, I think things are going to happen. I wanted to give a shout out. I don't usually give shout outs, but I want to give a shout out to a friend, Mitch Brennan, who is in Walt Disney World this weekend. Mitch texted me this morning. I wanted to pass this along. He said that he flew in. I believe he flew in last night. He said there's nobody wearing masks at the airports. No one's wearing masks on the plane. Nobody's wearing masks in the parks. He said it's not too crowded. He's in Animal Kingdom today. He had a 20-minute wait for Everest, 15 for the Rapids, and 30 for Dinosaur. So I just wanted to thank Mitch for sending me that info. But getting back, I think there are some tips. We just haven't come across them yet. They could be staring us right in the face, but we just don't know them
on the app. Well, and a quick side note before we start the show proper is that I've been so busy with work. I actually missed yesterday the announcement and planning for marathon weekend, and apparently they all sold out. All the races sold out in 90 minutes. I missed it. I didn't even know what was going on until Michelle said, "Hey, did you sign up?" And I was gobsmacked that I didn't know, and told my friend Nate, I'm like, "Hey, did you realize that this all sold out?" He was like, "Wait, what? It went on sale?" And so I guess, I was so used to the last couple of years where, things didn't sell out for months and months and months. And all of a sudden, for the first time in how many years?
Because it's a race. It's a marathon anniversary race. So,
Oh, yeah.
That was the big draw to that. But it's interesting on Facebook to see people, what the heck? What's up with the technology?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard can this be at this point? So, yeah, interesting. I'm sorry, Chris, that did you want to?
My wife and I had talked about it. I was thinking of just doing the half this time around, and then she was going to do the half and the full. She was going to do the Goofy. So, that's, I guess she had just said, "All right, fine. We're just going to do the Key West half now." So she's just said, "All right."
So did you look, or the Goofy and the Dopey sold out?
Everything was sold out. I went.
Okay.
I immediately, when you mentioned it, I went right to the website, and everything was sold out. And it made a decision for us. I had mentioned to you off air last time that, our annual passes were up at the beginning of May. We were thinking of going at the end of August or the middle of August, and then going back again in January. And to justify the cost of the annual passes, we would go both times, and it would be enough days to do it. And with losing out on the marathon, we've just kind of decided that we're just going to skip out on our APs, and we're going to not go in August. My sons want to go to Ireland of all places, so Disney lost some.
That's where the Heliopolises come from?
Some of them on my mother's side. Yeah.
The Heliopolis. Wow.
Say that fast.
Yeah, Patio Heliopolis. Yeah, no, it's my mother's side is a bit of Irish, and then Audra's father's side is Irish. So that's the deal. So they lost a bunch of money from us this year, unfortunately. But anyway, so we're going to talk about a change in plans. We're going to do some magic makers. If you remember from last episode, Disney has decided they want to bring back the magic to their parks, and they've enlisted 3 magic makers named Michelle, Mike, and Chris to help them do better and provide more magic feelings. Last week we did a general overview, and I think this week we're going to go right to the Magic Kingdom and sort of concentrate on that one this time. And Mike, I understand that you have a list that is like a mile long, so I'm going to give you like the stage here for a bit and sort of give us a few of your ideas up front before Michelle and I chime in with ours.
Well, my guess is that we're all going to have pretty much the same ideas, so I'd really be curious if there are things that I have on my list that didn't come to your minds, and I just like your comments. But let's start off with the general area of entertainment. A few years ago, they decided to have some characters in the form of Streetmosphere, Citizens of Hollywood, whatever you want to call it, on Main Street USA, and one of them was the mayor of Main Street. I also remember being in the barbershop and having a couple of characters come in and talk while I was getting a haircut. And I think that would be a nice touch to bring back to the theme park. I think that one of the interesting things that people would love to see, I think, as soon as they walk in and they start walking at the Magic Main Street USA, is something like that. So if I think having characters to walk around Main Street USA, not necessarily all the lands, but I think walking around and interacting with the guests, I think that would really be fun. And I think that wouldn't cost that much to have a few cast members in certain roles. That's my number one thought right now for bringing back magic to the Magic Kingdom.
I like it. Michelle?
I think Mike's going to like this one. It may even be on his list. I would like to have the holiday overlay from Disneyland be in Small World and in the Haunted Mansion. The ones that are in Disneyland need to come to Disney World. They make both of those attractions so much more fun. I remember, Mike, you and I went on Small World once and then got off and went on again because the overlay was so cool. And we were just sort of saying to each other, like, can you believe we're doing this on Small World? We're going again. The outside, the inside with all the doll characters from different movies just really makes it fabulous. And then the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay for Haunted Mansion also, I think, would be great.
I was told one time by a cast member who works in the Haunted Mansion why they have not ever done that overlay in the Haunted Mansion. And they said that when they first did it in Disneyland, they had to do an overhaul of what they called electrical harness. I'm not sure if I understand what that is. And they don't have enough power to put everything on the overlay.
Well,
but
that's why we're the consultants.
Yeah.
So they're asking us. They have to make it happen, right?
But I think they can do that. And I think they're just not doing it.
It's on my list, so they have to do it.
I
don't
agree.
care what the problem is.
That would be awesome.
They have to fix it.
They would have to close down the Haunted Mansion for about 3 or 4 weeks to do that. But I think I agree with you, Michelle. That'd be great. And those who have never been, Chris, you've been to Disney. Have you been to Disneyland during the holidays? Yep. So you know what that overlay for Small World is. And you're right, Michelle. I remember we waited 90 minutes one night, and then we went back the next night, and we waited another 90 minutes, I think, to get in there. Yeah, because if you,
I think he's exaggerating, but all right, whatever.
I don't know. I thought,
Mike never exaggerates.
Okay.
Mike
Chris,
being
what about you?
hyperbolic. This is something that they used to do. I don't remember when I saw it, but I would love to see them project family pictures from rides and stuff like that onto the castle proper. I'd love to see, like you go on rides or whatever.
They used to do that. Didn't they used to do that?
They did. There was a point. I don't know if it was Your Million Dreams or what, or something, or like one light show or something. But here's the thing, they got you tracked with those bands everywhere you go, and the problem would be like, if somebody went on an attraction and they left the parks, they would pop up a picture on there, and then it would not be anybody that's local. Whereas if you get, the sensors in those bands, they can read it and then know they're going to be in the hub and project their picture up on the thing. It would be kind of magical, I thought.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Mike, what's up for you then?
So I think I may have mentioned this on a previous show, but I think the unbelievable, exciting, and interesting addition to the Magic Kingdom. If you took the Pirates of the Caribbean, you took the Jungle Cruise, you took the Haunted Mansion, and I'm going to think possible progress every day. One of those attractions would have within it, embedded within it, a live cast member dressed as one of the characters in there. And the thing would be for guests to decide as they're riding these attractions, is that a real person or is that an audio animatronic figure? That would be outstanding if they could do that. You embed a live cast member into one of those attractions and they just rotate. And so, you say, hey, did you go? You got to go to the Pirates, the fire, the scene where the city is being burned. Look over to the left. There's a cast member. I think that would be pretty cool and pretty magical.
Okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So far, Mike's doing a lot of adding cast members to do one-on-one events or things like that. So
there's a theme. I definitely have a theme for mine. You'll see.
Go ahead. What's yours?
But this isn't part of that theme, but this is a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Could we please update the Carousel of Progress most recent family to be actually not using laser discs anymore and and actually be a family of tomorrow or a current family looking into the future? I don't think that should be that much. I mean, every 5 years, I would love to see that updated to reflect the current technology. I think it would be more fun. More people would go to it. So I think that's a pretty easy one to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a couple of attractions that need a little bit of a TLC and updating and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see here. What's another one of mine that I've written down? I was thinking that perhaps they would randomly hand out special Mickey ears to guests at certain points during the day, whether it be when they're arriving or at a certain attraction at some point. Just hand out to a bunch of different random guests, special, one of a kind, one of 100, per, a few per day, hand out to people to guests, and obviously they'll put it up on eBay later, but just the idea that they're randomly handing out these specialty ears. I mean, I know a lot of people love their Mickey ears and would love to have one of a kinds or one of 100 kinds. So there's my thought.
I like it.
Right. Mike, what's your next blue sky idea? Having a Streetmosphere character show up at.
Well,
wake you up in the morning.
I'm actually gonna say something that's good. Like there's 3 separate ones, but they're all they're all pretty much the same. So I'm going to loop them into one big comment. And one is bring back the nighttime parade, especially 2 performances during the summer. Bring back Kiss Goodnight. I think that is something that a lot of people don't know, and they should see it. I think it's wonderful. And the other thing is that I think they should rotate the fireworks. I think you should have Fantasy in the Sky. You should have Wishes. You should have Enchantment. And I forget the last one, which was, I keep forgetting, which was the one before Enchantment, Michelle?
Dreams.
No.
Fantasies.
Harmonious.
I know you just got to keep up with names like the wonder, magical. They use the same terms over and over again, right?
Once upon a time. I think that would be interesting because there's a lot of people who have never seen all of them, and there have been only 4 or 5, maybe 6 different nighttime shows. So why not do something every other night? I don't know if the technology makes it impossible for them to do it, if they just plug in a computer program to do it. But I think that would add some magic because you say, I'm going to go to the Magic Kingdom Thursday night because they're going to show Wishes. I'm going to go to the Magic Kingdom tomorrow night because they're going to show Fantasy in the Sky. But I think that the nighttime fireworks, entertainment, plus the parade, I think that would be a good thing to do.
All right, Magic Squad, Michelle, what's your next one?
All right, so this is part of my theme. I would like to rip out the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. I don't think I've been on that thing in 10 years, and put in Indiana Jones, the ride that is at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that ride,
yeah.
That attraction. So you'll see my theme is very much like do a little more of what it is at Disneyland. It is at Magic Kingdom, but sure. I don't know, in terms of real estate, but I think that would be really zazz up Adventureland a lot. So I'd love to have that there. Do you like that attraction, Chris?
The Treehouse or the Indiana Jones?
Oh no, Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, of course, duh. I mean, like, favorite movie of all time, Raiders. But even if they did a new attraction, not even like, because they have, it's the same ride vehicle that they have in Dinosaur.
Dinosaur, yeah.
So maybe they do something a little different this time. I mean, they've got some new technologies, and they could really do an interesting one.
I didn't know that was your favorite movie. That's my favorite movie. Yeah. I thought Back to the Future was your favorite movie.
It's up there. It's like, you know what it is? It's like, it's Raiders, Back to the Future, Star Wars. So that's my trilogy. Here's something that, again, going back to Year of a Million Dreams ideas. I would love to see them do a guest of the day who the family that leads the parade. They get some free swag and night in the castle. They really should start bringing back that whole magical night in the castle thing. It got such, you get such good social media presence by doing that kind of stuff. Granted, a lot of people will be disappointed that they didn't get it, but just I think the idea that something like that could happen to somebody would help. So bring that stuff back. I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing with that? The apartment up there now? Like, are they just giving it to like the high rollers? I mean, you're not letting really people stay in the park overnight. So who knows?
No idea. Mikey?
Mike?
So this comes under the heading of taking care of your best customers. I think that once a week, a morning up until noon should be specified for the Magic Kingdom, and only annual pass holders and DVC members are allowed in the park. If you're a resort guest, but you're not, if you're neither an AP or a DVC member, no. But this is a way to reward those sort of the best customers, and also maybe give them a chance to do some attractions that they normally wouldn't do with everybody else in the world going there. So once a week, morning, Magic Kingdom, and you can change it every week. You could say Thursday morning of next week, it's just DVC and annual pass holder availability. That's it.
You would tick off a lot of people who were paying to come down there and stay, but
what about ticking off the people who've been, spending money every year with annual passes, and DVC members who are paying, maintenance fees and
I get it, but like, could you imagine? Like, we were talking about, like, there were those people that were blocking off the road to the entrance to the parks the other day, and you're ruining the day. You're ruining a once in a lifetime for some people, an experience. Like, people go down there saying, I'm spending money and I'm paying for my daily passes, not an annual pass holder. I'm getting gypped out of a day.
This is just for 4 hours on a morning. It's not the whole day. It's just 4 hours a week. So
I totally get it.
No, I understand. I think I can. I mean, if I was on that side of the fence, I'd say, hey, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the idea of the Magic Squad, is to make sure that people are feeling magical but not alienating others. So but yeah, I like the idea of rewarding the people who are constant, Disney presence. So, and the biggest cheerleaders. We are like the biggest cheerleaders. So,
yep.
All right, Magic Squad, Michelle, back to you.
I'm going to close out my Let's Do This Like Disneyland series and ask that they upgrade Space Mountain so that it's more like the one in Disneyland. It's very smooth. It's got riding 2x2. It's got the great sound system. I thought that was going to happen years ago. It didn't happen. I think that would be really fun. And also, Pirates, make it longer, make it more like Disneyland. It's like 3 times the length on Disneyland. I would love to see that expanded. And I just, that is for me one of the attractions that until I sit on that pirate boats, I don't feel like I've been to Disney, and I love it every time, but I'd love to see more. So
I'd love to see the Star Wars overlay on Space Mountain, like they do out.
Yes. Or like change the music out. Didn't they have like the Red Hot Chili Peppers playing for a while, or make every once a month, make it a different Nirvana or whoever. Maybe not a Disney. It
definitely does need
singer, but
Space Mountain definitely does need more noise in there. Like, it seems it's very quiet.
Yeah.
And I think people are afraid to scream because it's quiet. Whereas when you go to Disneyland and everybody's howling because it's so loud.
But really, the roller coasters, just like our inexpensive local theme park, Canopy Lake Park in New Hampshire, it's the Galaxy ride. It's the same roller coaster. So, so let's upgrade that. Okay. Don't you think, Mike? Would you go on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Here's one that I thought about. Back in the day on Tom Sawyer Island, they used to do this thing where they would hide I don't know if it was paintbrushes or something around in the caves and stuff like that. And, it was a fun thing to go and try and find them. I don't know whether they put like 4 of them or something like that. I'd love to see them bring that back. But the people who actually find it, when they get back to the dock, they are given a voucher for free snacks for the rest of the day. So anybody that finds those, because I tend to think that Tom Sawyer Island tends to be kind of quiet. A lot of people don't go there anymore. They'll go there once in a while, but it might be a reason for people to go and find these paintbrushes and get a little reward for it, a little magic.
I like it.
So these next 2 are pretty close together. They're to celebrate the 50th anniversary. And so during the 18 months, is it 18 month or 20? I don't know how many months. During the 50th anniversary celebration, every once in a while, there would be a Mickey happy hour in the Magic Kingdom. But the happy hour would actually be 50 minutes because we're celebrating 50 years. During those 50 minutes, something like a Mickey ice cream bar, a Dole Whip, or maybe even a churro or whatever, they're all 50% off.
Turkey leg?
Well, it could be, there would be a number of things. So all of a sudden you're walking through the park and you hear Mickey say, "Hiya, folks. It's time for Mickey's happy hour. So for the next 50 minutes, if you want to buy a Mickey bar or if you want to buy a Dole Whip, it's 50% off or 50 cents. Well, 50% off, not 50 cents. I think that would be kind of fun. Here's another one that I'm not sure if this one would fly, but I would also like to see a special genie-free happy hour for one of the lands or maybe for the whole park, whereby nobody pays for lightning lanes. Everything is free. You can go into lightning lane. You can go into the standby line, whichever one works for you, whichever one you think is shorter, for 50 minutes only, maybe once a week. And I think that would be good. Again, it's that mystery that's part of the intrigue. It's like finding that cast member. It's like, when is entertainment going to pop up? I think that kind of intrigue, I think, would add a lot to the magic of going into that theme park.
I do love the idea of fire sales. I think that is like a fun thing, not even just for the 50th, but just have like, for the next hour, something is, merchandise, 25% off, blah, 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 and then let everybody go racing over there. Great stuff. I like that idea. Michelle, what do you got for me?
This is an easy one, but I would love to see some Dapper Danielles with the Dapper Dans.
Like that.
Why don't we have women doing that too? I think it would kind of be really cool to mix it up and have some, maybe sometimes it's all women or maybe it's a combination, but I think that would be kind of cool. Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of other places too. I mean, all around the park, but, all right. So my next one is, again, this is more for, promotion too, as opposed to just magical things. But since everybody seems to be on their phones, I was thinking of doing like social media special moments where cast members would surprise guests with like food or characters or some kind of behind the scene event that guests can take pictures and share on their social media. Like I remember, God, I forget when it was, years ago, we were at Disney World. I think we were in Becky's room, and she had remember those Oreo cookies with the chocolate on top of them and whatever it was that were specially delivered, and they were special made, like they weren't like for sale anywhere. But I remember all of us like taking pictures, and like it was such a special moment. I would think that maybe they would start doing things like that just to sort of give the guest a special moment, but also let them promote it on social media, which is a benefit in both sides of the coin. So, but
good marketing.
Yeah. So, Mike, let's hear like 15 more of your ideas.
I actually have only like 2, maybe just one, but I want to so one of them is somewhat similar to what Michelle said about Dapper Danielles. I think that they should bring back the All-American College Band and let that band, be it 5, 6, 7, or 8 musicians, go through the park and play music, be a spontaneous music happening. I think that would be good. I also think that there should be more music in Liberty Square. I think that they're slowly going to bring entertainment back, but I really think that that's part of the the fun of being in a Disney theme park when spontaneous music shows up. It used to be that way years ago in all the theme parks, and I'd like to see that. So, on top of what Michelle said about the entertainment, again, this goes back to my very first one. You don't need you shouldn't have to worry just about attractions to be entertained, to enjoy your stay in a Disney theme park. Things happen. Dancing outside Country Bear Jamboree. Citizens of Hollywood, or interaction with characters on Main Street USA. The trolley song at the beginning. I think all that stuff is really important, and I really think the more entertainment they plug into the theme parks, the better experience for people and the less complaining about lines for attractions.
Yeah, definitely work the queues a little bit better. Give people something to do while they're bored in line instead of staring at their phones. But all right, Michelle, what you got?
Well, we are brainstorming. I don't know how this would work, but I would love to see more. I would love to see any kiosks, sort of like they have at Epcot, food kiosks around Magic Kingdom. So what I'm thinking of is, for example, during the dessert parties, they have some holiday-themed treats that they could sell those in a kiosk. Just something a little more accessible or a little more varied than popcorn and pretzels. I think they could do something. They could do interesting things in each of the different lands that are maybe land-themed, but it'd be cool to see, thing like little French foods around Belle's Castle, and I don't know, things in Liberty Square. I don't think it would. They have. I always think of Austin, Texas, and these food trucks and little pop-ups everywhere. They have the pop-ups or the food trucks in Disney Springs. Why not allow the chefs to kind of pitch an idea for a cart and a theme of a cart, and have them rotate through, and it could be a nice little test kitchen area for something that they could launch into different restaurants. I think it would just be fun, because with the lack of availability of rides, as Mike was saying about entertainment, I think one of the reasons that we like to go to Epcot is to try those different foods if we're not going on Test Track, if we can't get on Soarin', to be able to try something at the cart in the UK or whatever. So I think it would zazz it up for people and make it maybe more appealing for older folks to go to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I think
Guys,
it does the dual
I
factor,
like
though. If they do specialty snacks and stuff, if any of them take off like in a big way, they can add it to like the regular menus of places.
Yeah, that's what I'm
shops.
saying. It could be like a test kitchen.
Yeah.
So allow their chefs to, I really want to try out this, and let's try it in the the Space Mountain. Let's make some sort of an innovative, cool thing. Oh, it took off. We can use it in the new Star Wars hotel or wherever.
I like that idea, Michelle. I'm going through the park trying to figure out where I would put these kiosks. And the one place that I think would be prominent would be across from the Mercantile section in Frontierland and Liberty Square. So like across from Country Bear, across from those places,
there's not a ton of real estate, but there's that place near Pirates where they used to sell French fries. That could be turned into one. There's, but I love the idea of, of pitching it to the culinary staff and saying, we're going to fund for you to do this. We're going to make this. So you get together as a team and pitch 5 items that could go into that kiosk that's going to be themed to Belle's Castle or themed in Tomorrowland. I think it could be really fun, and then it would give people did you hear about the new kiosk that just opened up in Liberty Square? We got to go try that out. I heard the blah 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 is really good. So.
Or some, I don't know how many times you're walking through the park with a snack or a drink and somebody goes, oh my god, what is that? And it gets word of mouth, and it keeps people moving and trying new things. And that's the thing. It's like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it at the kiosk over at
right.
And then people go,
hey, we can't keep up with the solar sandwich. They're selling out. So let's put it in a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's so good. People love it.
Yeah. So my next one is like sort of one, like it's almost like a fork in the road for like 3 of the same things. But I used to love when cast members would come up and ask you trivia questions. And if you got it right, they'd give you like a little piece of paper saying you got a thing right. I mean, like when I went, they had asked me an Indiana Jones question, so it was like no brainer. And I got this little card. But I was thinking what they start doing is either if you get it wrong, they'll give you like a little Mickey sticker so nobody feels bad. But if you get it right, you either get like a free fast pass or two. You get either like a full day fast pass Lightning Lane thing. Like if you get it right, if they give you a hard one. Or maybe even like give the family like a VIP tour. Like you get a hard trivia question. You're a true Disney fan. Maybe one a day. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. They get, a tour for the day or fast passes or Lightning Lane, something to sort of spark the magic, but also make sure that these people love Disney. It's sort of like it's pulling the sword out of the stone type of thing. Mike?
So this last one, this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. And I think with recent things that have been going on, I think it's important to say it. And I think it's important that Disney starts to put money where their mouth is right now. And this is involving the LGBTQIA plus community. I think that Disney needs to recognize that the park is open to everybody. I think they need to officially recognize Gay Days in June. I think they need to say, yes, we welcome everybody, and we're not going to say this is just for children or for women. I think they need to do something with that. I think they need to offer either merchandise or create characters, not be so subtle like they have been in the past. Not a lot of people realize that Ursula in The Little Mermaid was designed after that character Divine. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And there was something going on one of the Star Wars movies. I think we need to see Disney welcome everybody. And I feel very emotional about this. I just think they should do that.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. It's supposed to be a welcoming place for everybody, so it's about time that they make sure that everybody knows that they're welcome. So
exactly.
Michelle, any last ones for you?
Yeah, I would. I've never been a fan of this attraction, but I just think it's so outdated. It's hard to follow up that one. Thank you, Mike. I would love to see them tear out that raceway and make maybe a theater, like an outdoor theater where they have entertainment, or a really nice themed big restaurant, because I think the restaurants really stink at Magic Kingdom. There's not one that I would plan to go to. I might settle for it, but I wouldn't go to. So make that something that is, and that's a nice amount of real estate. Let's make shows where 1,000 people can. It doesn't have to be the Indiana Jones, but it's not really themed for anything. It's not really Fantasyland. It's not really Tomorrowland, although it's called the Tomorrowland. But that's a good chunk of real estate. Let's do something fun with it that would draw a bigger crowd in there.
So Michelle's theme for today was rip everything out and make it more like Disneyland. And
no, I'm not saying Disney. No, I was actually thinking like Beauty and the Beast, like some of the big theaters and studios. Yeah. And maybe it could be a rotating thing. Maybe like Encanto's the big thing right now. Maybe we have like a little Encanto show, and I think it could be really dynamic and interesting and hold 1,000, 2,000 people, and pull that crowd out of other places in the park, draw them to that.
So I think that's a great idea. And you guys remember when there used to be a theater between Carousel of Progress and Buzz Lightyear? Mm-hmm. They ripped that out, and then there was talk that there would be a sort of a black box. I think you're talking about the black box idea of putting together this huge building in which you could constantly change things. And one of the rumors I heard, and I'm not sure if this is true, it's been quiet, that when you walk down Main Street, you know how you can walk behind the right side of Main Street? There was a rumor that they were going to build a huge amphitheater back there where they could have what you're talking about, Michelle. I don't know where that is right now. There's so many things that are started up and then they just drop them. But I agree with you. There should be some type of an entertainment venue where there is a theater, like where they could have, like you said, look at, you could have the sing-alongs. You could have
It could change.
you could have Little Mermaid sing-along, Frozen. I mean, you could do that.
Well, we don't need Frozen sing.
No, well, but I mean, they
Encanto.
they embrace that in the studios,
Mhm.
but they should do that also in the Magic Kingdom. I agree 100%. I think that's a great idea.
All right. For one last thing from me, I was thinking, I love watching on YouTube flash mobs, where nobody expects it. So I was thinking of having like surprise events, almost like a block party in the middle of the park, like somewhere in like a land. They would basically just at one point, just cast members rush in, block off a section, have a band play, give out free snacks and stuff like that, and turn it into like a little dance party for, half an hour or whatever it is. And then they just disappear and everybody goes back about their business, and just sort of gives everybody a moment where they're like, what's going on here? And then go back to their thing. Not long enough that people get annoyed because they can't get in or get out, but just enough that it would be like a fun little an event.
I love that idea.
That's fun. Is that spontaneity, Chris, that we are missing?
Right.
That's a great idea. I love that.
So that seems to be the big thing. Like we said originally, it's the randomness, the unexpected. That's what we're missing. And you've said it.
And I think it's the infrastructure. I think there's some infrastructure.
You just need to rip it down and start over again. But no, I think Mike is always, he's been talking about lately about like there's no spontaneity to our vacations anymore, and this sort of introduces ideas for that. So, well, I like all these ideas. I think next time, are we going to do we'll do the other parks for the next show?
I don't know if we could do them all, but we'll try to do at least Epcot.
Epcot, yeah, that would be nice.
That's a big park, so.
True. All right, so maybe next week it's Epcot. But for now, it's going to wrap this episode up of Mickey Miles and More. If you want to reach out to us with any of your ideas, send us a message on Twitter at Mickey Miles Pod. For Dr. Michelle Scribner-McLean, the Dean of Disney, Mike Scopa, I'm Chris Eliopoulos. We'll see you on the road and in the parks.
We hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode of the Mickey Miles and More podcast. For all of us here at the Mickey Miles and More podcast, this is Rick Gray saying thanks for listening and all your support. And until next time, we'll see you on the road.